So the primary HPV DNA screening program has been started in Turkey in very early. We started the primary screening in 2014. And here you can see several publications. We published the first 1 million, then recently the first 4 million results of the screening program, then the triage results, and of course the challenges, problems, and solutions. And you can all see these problems and solutions and the preliminary results in these publications. And additionally, my friends, during the program implementation, you can watch the video of the Mega HPV laboratory from YouTube here. The video for the GP trainings to sample HPV here, and again in the YouTube. And of course, we develop an HPV for Apple and Google, which is free to download, and you can evaluate all these programs in these references. Then previously we were using Pap smear program since 2004, but unfortunately the coverage rates was not exceeding any time more than 2% for population-based screening. A great majority of the screening was done in the opportunistic scenario. And the program was in charge at least for 15 years without any success. Of course, there were some reasons why we failed. The target population was very large, 15 million ladies to be screened over age 30. Just one Istanbul was greater than 18 European countries, the population. The lack of manpower, cytotechnicians, and pathology experts were volunteered to look thousands and millions of Pap smears and reporting in 99% the normal Pap smear. So they were not volunteer, and their numbers were insufficient. And the frequent positional changes. Once you train good staff in the east part, in a few years, they don't want to live there a long time. They want to go to the western part of the country. Of course, lack of awareness, as usual for all East European countries, geographical limitations, and of course there was no any quality control. Whenever you say Pap smear expert that you are not doing a good job, the ASCUS rates, low C rates are too much high, and then they were easily giving up the job, and they were just saying that okay, you can find another Pap smear expert, and that's the maximum point that I can provide to you. Then, after some pilot projects, we started the new HPV DNA screening program in 2014. In the NEED program, the screening interval was the same, between 30 to 55 years, sampling in each 5 years. So we got 2 samples from each patient. The first one is HPV, and the second one is Pap smear, conventional Pap smear we used. In contrast to the Netherlands, we produce a mega and central 1 HPV laboratory. So all the samples did come to the same center. So we first check if she's HPV negative or positive. If she's negative, we have never checked for the Pap smear. Come 5 years later on. But if she is positive, then we use the genotyping plus we did the Pap smear as a reflex. So for the positive cases, the result was like that. You are HPV positive, 16 positive, 18 negative, 31 negative, 33 positive, and Pap smear is ASCUS, low-C, or something like that. And of course, each patient who were 16 or 18 HPV positive, or any patient with cytological abnormality was referred to gynecologist for colposcopy. This is just to show you the laboratory, how it works. Some of you know this. I'm very grateful to Maria Polyak, Javier Bosch, Mark Arvin, and many other European experts that they were very helpful. So collaboration with national and international societies is so critical to implement the program. And it was a developing country with low economical power, but anyhow, it became the first country in the world to start this national HPV DNA screening. So, of course, we have just one central laboratory, as you see. It's just actually 5 rooms. This is the call center that they answer the questions, and these are the samples coming up from the GPs. The capacity is 10,000 per day. If more samples is gathered up, we can just add 1 machine, 2 machines, or 3 machines more. We have now 6 machines with a capacity 10,000. So all these samples do come to one center, and I watch from my cell phone with this program, which I work a lot to produce the RunNet. So you can see each step. The sample is in GP, sample is in cargo, sample is in laboratory. Now we are doing the DNA extraction. So if anything is green, then everything is go well. But if something is red, then you can call the laboratory and just say, hey, bro, what's going on? What's the problem? Because we say that we will give your results in 10 days. So these are the smears and HPV DNAs that we collect from the ladies, from GPs, from all the country. So you see the HPV here and the pap smear is here. And as I told you, we just first look if she is HPV positive or negative. If she is positive, then we will check for the pap smear. But if she is HPV negative, I don't have nothing to do with the pap smear. The good point of the issue is that we have screened now more than 5 million, and the program will never led us to confuse one sample of the one patient with another one. So just, of course, we have some time limitations, and accordingly, I will surpass the video, but you can watch it from the YouTube. But here, just to show you that it is really feasible and effective. And in a country, you can see these screening numbers here. For many years using pap smear, it was just 2%, but now we reach to a minimum 1 million screening per year, which is a 10 times increase in the population screening rates in a country which is developing. And now we have the genotype, HPV genotype map of the Turkey. We finalized 5.5 million screening in the last 5 to 6 years, detected more than 30,000 pap smear abnormality with a very, very small colposcopy referral. Now it's very nice because we go to the village, we do the screening, and only 1.6% of the 100 lady is referred for colposcopy. But of course, it's not an easy job. You always have some challenges and solutions. And these are the messages that I want to share with my colleagues, because it was really difficult for us to implement this program as a first in the world. But you have to, in any country, these are the domains that you have to deal as some challenges. But let's start with the basic universal principles. We always know that there was a money in the government. It was just depending on my capacity and my department capacity to change the minds of the ministers. And the circuit sentence I used that, how much you are paying to pap smear screening? Okay, $10. The knee program will be maximum $10. So the second point is that we started in pilot and small regions. So showing the results, showing the power of data and power of registry, the ministers and the policy decision makers were very, very amazed with the results. Of course, accordingly, we just target our affordable people. So we never make some big dreams. So you don't need to start with the whole population, but just first start with small projects and show your success to your decision makers. And we always try to become a leader in the press, but not a follower. Usually the ministries are always silent, but this was not the case. And working together with National Colposcopy Society, Gynecology Society, Microbiology Society, Nursing Society, GP Society, and also the international IARC, NCI, WHO give a lot of power during the implantation period. The target population, I told you, registry was a must. It was difficult, but now we have a very nice registry. It improved day by day with the national ID numbers. But now in Turkey, if you can see the screening result of a lady wherever she goes. You can make a repeat screening, it's not a problem, but you can see the result in this large country wherever she goes for a screening. So we try to avoid unnecessary also waste of time, because we know that screening was done in healthy people and you have to make them comfortable. So these eHPV smartphone applications was very nice. And as again, I see we did not use the self-test, but the genotyping plus pap smear triage was so nice because the colposcopy referral rate was very low. And the referral centers, if you look at the colposcopy centers, we just referred 1.5 additional case. So we did not make a lot of burden also on the gynecologist. Of course, continuous education and awareness was very important during all these challenges. Try to preventing the cancer dogmas. We try to make the early diagnosed people visible on the media every year. even 4 to 5 times. You see, we did a lot of press releases. So in a developing, even we screened the Syrian refugees, as you can see here in their camps. So all the mass media was really giving good support to the screening program. The manpower was a problem. The GPs were resistant. They had a lot of jobs, vaccinations, and they were very resistant to the new program. But we motivated them with annual awards, weekly calls, and statistical competitions on our web pages. Even we plan to use some negative and positive performance on their salaries based on their screening base, but we have never used. We just used the motivation with some annual awards that this guy is #1 in the country to screen the ladies. Of course, the gynecology lobby was very difficult to challenge, but we gave them a new job, which is the triage. After the triage, the management and follow-up after HPV positive cases. And believe me, now they are more happy because they feel themselves as a real HPV expert currently. And of course, for the manpower, the triage is very important for the beginning countries. The colposcopy referral rate, the burden on the colposcopy and gynecologists. So you have to sometimes use good technologies, including the colposcopy technologies. And we now do some trials on third generation colposcopies, cfDNA, urine HPVs, blood HPVs. But the people now feel themselves, the gynecologists, also in this science. So it was very nice to defeat their resistance. And I told you, registry, IT support, start with a small project and grow one step by step. Thanks to WHO IARC, the cancer screening project, we, in addition to the cancer registry, we started cancer screen, which is registry of the cancer screening area, which we try to follow and pick up the data. Awareness, as usual, should be continuous, sensational, sustainable, should be country-wide as possible, and should include not only the advocacy groups, but the popular people in the public, academicians and political leaders. These are some very interesting, sensational awareness events we did. We fly, we bicycle and make the globe turn around the HPV, turn around the ladies. We closed the Bosphorus Bridge with our minister, thanks to Ezgo, who made a very big bicycle from Austria to Istanbul. We invited our first ladies. We started a new day. In addition to HPV Day, we started the World Go Day, Gynecologic Oncology Day. So and it's not only the media, but also the publications, step by step. So the people, the country feel honored with this. But of course, the most important part is the money. This was the financial account that I presented to my president.
Thinking about time, Murat, sorry.
Yeah, it's finishing. And now, as I told you, we promised them the maximal price, not other than the cost-effective, but cost-efficient price. And it was unbelievable at the end of the tender. Additionally, we stopped the governmental model. The whole project is done outsourced PPP model. So a company does everything. We only pay for the patients, which bring a lot of rapidness in our jobs. And of course, there are still some things continuing that we have to promote. The sexual transmission of HPV, big questions from the patients. The patients usually prefer not the colposcopy centers of government, but private centers. They want to make it secret. The questions about natural HPV infections, is my husband is cheating me or something like that. And the vaccine questions. So these are the 4 topics that I'm dealing now, because the people now ask their doctors to be vaccinated. Thank you so much.